Someone once described the Bible like an epic play, which could be divided into 6 main acts. We have the first 4 acts and the 6th act, but we only have part of the 5th act. And we are like actors who have been cast in Act 5. Although we don't have a complete script, we are being called to study the rest of the play, to know it front to back, and then to act out our part in light of what has already happened and what we know is coming. So what does that look like? We know from the play that humans were created to be partners with God in caring for His world as His image bearers, but that we rebelled and made a mess of everything. But we also know that Jesus has come, that He has dealt with our rebellion by dying in our place on the cross, and that we can now once more partner with God by His Spirit dwelling in us. And we know that He has sent us to make disciples of all nations, and that in Acts 6, all the world is going to be filled with the glory of God, and that there will be no more evil, sorrow, or suffering. And instead, everything will be under Jesus' good authority and will be restored to perfect and complete peace. So how do I act in light of this? What does it look like for me to discover my role in the play? How can I find my part in this epic story? Learning to discover this is the heartbeat of our church. We believe that every single person who is a disciple of Jesus has been given a unique role, and that Jesus has given every single person unique skills and gifts to act out their part. The problem is that we often don't believe this is true. We feel insecure and we feel like someone else is more skilled or more educated or has more effective gifts. But if we've paid attention to the rest of the play, we know that this is simply not true. You see, the play tells us that God created and redeemed you for good works, and that He has planned this out since the beginning of time. This means that where you live is not an accident, who you work with is not a fluke, and where your kids go to school is not random. Where you live, learn, work, and play are all scenes in this act, and Jesus is directing you by His Holy Spirit to act out your role in every space that you find yourself with every person that you meet. And remember how Act 6 ends? God's glory literally saturating every part of the earth. So just imagine with me for a second, what would this look like in Victoria? Imagine if every neighborhood had a disciple, a restored image bearer showing and sharing what Jesus was like and bringing Him glory. Imagine if every network of relationships in our city, your kids' basketball team, the local pack, the people who work out alongside you at the gym, or who are studying and listening to the same lectures next to you in your college class. Imagine if every one of these networks of relationships in Victoria had a disciple showing people just what life was like when Jesus is in charge. What if that disciple is you? What if God has been preparing you and giving you everything you need to uniquely share Him with that group of friends, or those people who just happen to be regulars at the same coffee shop as you? What if it's not an accident that you live next to the very people who are your neighbors in your apartment complex or on your street? What if this is your scene and He's calling you to act out your role in His play? Will you say yes? Are you ready? Do you know where to start?